record on it. Okay. I think we can start. All right, good. So, can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes, we can see.
Oh, good.
Yes, I can see.
Thank you very much. My name is Oluwasegun Michael Ibrahim, but most of the time, like, it could just be my first name and my last name. And yeah, most people maybe from Nigeria may want to call me Shegun. So I'm here today to welcome you and thank you for taking your time to attend this event to see how we can help actualize a common goal, which is what the STEAM City Initiative stands for. It's just a kind of like initiative that we, as an African, we want to find a way of, maybe giving back to society. Since we've actually tapped from some of these resources and opportunity, we are kind of like looking for a platform where we can also bring like people together, young ones, our colleagues, our seniors, who are also kind of like looking forward to some of the things we have done. And we want to be able to like impact others. So that's just the basic concept around this. And I also like, based on my experience, I know like there are a lot of initiatives out there that they kind of attend and address like STEM issues. And yeah, that's very cool. But at the same time, I have a PhD in applied math. I do like math modeling. And I know one of the ways of like appreciating what we do in math modeling is like simulation. And when you're doing simulation studies, you're bringing in color, that's like an art. So why are we trying to neglect like that course? And, you know, you go to school, people go for outreach and you talk about STEM, but people in arts and humanity begin to be like, okay, is this course not applicable? So I think what the world means, what we'll be experiencing in years to come might be that arts is in a way will be forcing itself into the STEM ecosystem in such a way that both can interact together. So regardless of the pathway you've chosen, I believe strongly that you can still do the best for yourself. So that is why we're trying to like bridge this gap as much as we can, talk to people and see how they can kind of like help us make the change that we want to have in our society. So like I introduced myself the last time, so I'm just Oluwasegun. Yeah, that's my first name. And thank you for coming. Again, I want to thank the guest speakers for showing up. In fact, trying to reach out and get to like talk to some of you, because I know a couple of you are in another country, you know, different countries and different time zones. And many of you are to like abort or like stop your outing for today just because of us. I mean, we're really grateful for you wanting to like make an impact. This is something that we so much appreciate. And I also like just want to thank you. I mean, one of the speakers is having a very big event today. And we're hoping that if it's free, I mean, though I can't see the list of people who are here, but he spoke to me, like sent me a mail the last time that he will try as much as he can. So please, we just want to thank you for coming around. That's our guest speaker. And if you have any comments, reservations, you can just send it in the chat box and we should do that. Please, I don't know if you can mute your speaker. I don't know. Maybe I can do that for you from my end. Okay, all right. Again, we also want to use this opportunity to thank our friends. I mean, for me, I refer to them as the friends of STEAM City Initiative. They've been there for us like the day one of the webinar or when we even started the whole idea. I remember last year, I mean, almost this time last year, we were kind of like here and to talk to people. And yeah, many of them like made it down here, which is something we are very much happy about. Thank you for coming around. And, you know, yeah, the conversation today, we're not going to make it kind of like, we're not restricting it to only our guest speakers. So maybe if you have something to say, you can just like, let me know. You said all these things last year, and it was really helpful for so many folks who who kind of like benefited from it. And interestingly, I think last year, about 4 people who attended the seminar got selected for the scholarship. So we are hoping that more people this year will be selected. So in a couple of minutes or let's say seconds, depending on how it's going to look like, I will be talking to our guests about their perspective about the AIMS application. Maybe before that, I can briefly run through the AIMS program. So just permit me to stop sharing the screen at the moment, and probably I should, excuse me. Okay, good. Just one moment. It's not this, just a moment. So I want to share my screen. So just permit me to quickly go into the folder and pick what I want to talk about. Okay, then I have to open it right now. Okay, perfect. Share my screen again. Sorry. Okay, good. Share. I hope it's this February 5. Yeah. Yeah, so can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
I can
good.
see.
Yes.
So I will just talk briefly about this. Like I'm going to share this with us, and maybe before I do that, it will just make sense to show you the reason why we are here, which is to talk about this. Good. So let me share this instead. Stop sharing. So I'll come back to that later. Let me share this. Thank you. So the reason why we are here, I want to believe that we are seeing the screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so the reason why we are here is to kind of like enlighten us, educate us about this current application that is on. Myself, the guest speakers, and some other participants were like, at some point we were students, like now we're an alumni of this institute. And it's a kind of opportunity that I feel like probably has not gotten like the right publicity. And because someone like me, I didn't get to know, it was my mentor that told me about this. And it kind of like makes sense for us to like share this, our experience, and talk a lot about how we got it, what they are really looking forward to, and how you can become successful. So this is just the official advert, okay? This is just the official advert of the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences Master Scholarship. And I think currently, I think the 2 programs are on, the master's pathway and those who wants to do co-op. And the requirements they are just like almost the same way that you're seeing it on the screen, which I think like many of you must have seen it. And yeah, the application link is also like what you see on the screen as well. There's something we've done over the years, so let me just stop sharing, that I think has been beneficial to people, to folks out there. I remember after my PhD Viva, I went to University of Lagos for what's it called, like a seminar, a workshop, a school in mathematical modeling. And someone just walked up to me and was like, hey, my invisible mentor. I was like, what's the meaning of that? He was like, no, I saw your material a couple of years ago. I used it and I got selected for AIM scholarship. I'm like, wow. Say, I know your name. I know you. I'm like, really? I said, okay. If we have something like this, it will also make sense to share this with people. That was what I used to myself, but I encourage people not to plagiarize. And I'm also like, I've written that to kind of like support this idea and initiative that we all have. So basically, this booklet is just telling you about, the summary you may need to know about the AIMS thing. Before going further, I don't know if you ever come across our social media pages. You can just like, follow, and probably subscribe. And currently, I think AIMS has like 5 different centers, some in the Francophone countries and the Anglophone countries. You can check some of these centers out so that if you want to pick an option, you want to be very sure that you are picking the one that aligns with probably your interest or where you want to be. And you should also, I'm sure like our speaker will also talk about these things, and maybe in terms of competition or what you should look at, which country are you from, how can you navigate your way. And yeah, a lot of people can apply for the AIMS program. I mean, gone are those days that people think that it's only people like that have like BSc in math, like their undergraduate degree in math, that can apply to AIMS. I mean, different folks can now apply, because once you can show that you have that quantitative background, then I think you're good to go. Then I think the funding comes from like different countries, depending, but the funding still remains the same, but I don't know, maybe there are exemptions these days. Our speaker may want to talk about that. And the link is the first thing that is here is just like the central link to the link, to the AIMS website, where you can see different options of this application. So I think now AIMS do like masters, they also do like the co-op track. They also do like data science and a couple of those programs. So just check it out and see the one that will really work out for you. Most times the application begins in December, but I think this year they delayed it to January, and that's why you are seeing that little exemption there. And depending on your country as well, you're expected to have like a bachelor's degree and before you're able to apply. Then the required document still remains the same. I think mostly your undergrad results. In Nigeria, when people graduate, they give them statement of result. Then maybe thereafter you get your certificate, so you can use any of those things. Your transcript is also important. Then you can just get your transcript from your school. If it's difficult, you can reach out to your HOD. They can give you a student copy. That will work for now. And for recommendation letters, you should just ensure that you're able to use people who can write for you. I say these things to people. So it's good to use professors, which is like an expert is recommending you, but you should also ensure that they are able to write convincingly. They are able to say things about you that the selection committee wants to see. So if it's a PhD holder that will be able to express themselves very well, like in a very articulate manner, then you should go for them. But regardless, I strongly advise people to use those who can make good and precise comments about them. Application essay draft, and that is one of the things we'll be sharing. I may not get to share that now. Once I'm done with this part, then we can get into talking and interviewing our guest speaker. If so far you register for this webinar, at the end of the day, I'm going to send like a copy of my application essay, which I have shared with so many folks. I mean, I lost count of people who used it and they got the AIMS scholarship. So I advise people not to plagiarize, but look at the idea, look at the concept I sold to the graduate committee or the selection committee, and find a way of crafting your own. I mean, create your own niche. The problem you may want to solve, probably it's climate science, it could be data science, you want to go into data science, you want to do different things. So that's just like a guiding template for you to do. I don't know if we'll get to this, but I may want to say that if you're planning to travel, it makes sense to have passports. But even when I applied to AIMS, I didn't have a passport actually. And when I got selected, they called me and I told them, I don't have passport, but I'll get it in the next few days. And I mean, a few weeks. Then it took me a few weeks, to get it in Nigeria, then before I left. So I think those are the basic things, depending on your background, provided that you've taken some quantitative courses. I think AIMS is the right place for you. You can just try it out. And our YouTube page is there and you may follow. So this is the other part, which is like answers to some of the essays that you would have seen if you have started the application already. So we hope to kind of like share that with you after the program. Good. So having said that, I think we have some of our speakers here, if not all, I think so. Okay, because my screen is not as big as, so I'm unable to keep track of everyone, but I'm able to. Please, in case if you are one of the speakers and you do not use your name, like you didn't save your Zoom profile with your name, please, you can let me know so that I can just identify you. You can also like turn on your screen, and I mean, you can, so that I'm able to see you. Okay, let's go straight into the business of the day, which is trying to talk to people about the AIMS application. I mean, a lot of people, you get this application link and they tell you, oh, apply for it. Because sometimes it's not just about the application. Sometimes it's good to reach out and hear from those who have applied like for this program and what they did. I will start by talking to Dr. Ines. You must have read her profile. She went to AIMS, and she also got the AIMS Data Science Fellowship, and she had a PhD in South Africa, and now she's a postdoc at AIMS. So you've had like different encounters with AIMS. You did like the masters. I mean, you also like got the fellowship. What can you see like from your own end? What you would consider, for instance, let's say you are among the selection committee, what would you consider as a strong application? What are the things that you're looking forward to seeing in any of those applications? And yeah, if you would like to discuss something about that.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Mike. It is really good to see how you are giving back to the community. Coming back to your question, I would say that a good application will be a good personal statement first, like the essay you are actually talking about. You should have a good essay. By telling your own story, your story should be unique. You don't need to like copy and plagiarize, as you were saying. You need to tell something that will touch the reviewer. Also, you should have a positive recommendation. So you make sure that you ask your lecturer or someone who knows you very well to write about you. The recommendation should not be something like superficial. It should actually say who you are, how is your strength. Yeah. I also think that you should have all required documents. Make sure that you put everything together before the deadline. Don't wait for the last minute to start preparing your application. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that wonderful explanation. By the way, for many of you who do not know, you know, like AIMS is a program that is kind of like open to people from different parts of Africa. And I don't know if there is anyone here who do not understand English. Probably French is your first language, like a speaker who has just spoken. I know they speak French in Cameroon. I know there's another part of Cameroon that speaks English a bit. Yeah. So she can speak French, she speaks English as well. So if you're here and you cannot speak or probably understand French, you can just let me know. You can just send me a message so that probably she can interpret some of the things she has said in French. Myself, I want to learn French. I was doing Duolingo at some point, but now I think I will have to revisit that. So like she did mention, you should make sure that your story is unique. And if you, by the time I send the essay to you, you begin to see how I personalized this story in such a way that whoever is reading it, because AIMS is looking for potential leaders. It's not just about in academic excellence, they also are looking for people who will give back to society, who will also take leadership positions, who will impact others and, help us solve the Africans problem. And I think that's kind of like makes sense. Having said that, I want to draw the attention of Harry, to this question. I quite understand that people from different parts of Africa, they come around, they want to study. I don't know if we have people who are not like English speakers, but for you, I know like you're from DRC and you have a BSc, you have your master's before going to AIM. So, and now you are currently in the US doing a PhD. Would you like to tell us about what motivated you to probably do your second master's with AIMS and how that translated to your current position in the US? Because, a lot of people in Africa, I'm sure like people must have seen this call and like, oh, I have a master's before. Why do I have to do another master's again? Is there any kind of like networking that you were able to have at AIMS, and why would you encourage people to probably consider it as an option? And basically, why do you have to do like another master's at AIMS, and how does that lead you to your current position in the US?
Okay, thank you. So I have to give maybe a bit of context on that time. So in that time, I was applying for PhDs, I was applying for masters, and I got selected for a PhD in France in that time, I think in 2021. And I discussed with my mentor in that time. I told him that I got accepted in France, but he advised me, because he is a bit related to AIMS, he advised me that you can get a PhD, but you can get more opportunity if you get to AIMS. Not because just of the program, but AIMS is more about the networking. What will you do after? Which kind of opportunities you can get after AIMS? That was the main reason I chose to go to AIMS. I know it was a bit, it was not making sense in some way, because you see, you get a acceptance for a university in France for a PhD. But when looking back and you see the advantages I got from AIMS and the one I should get if I went for that program, I think it was the best choice. It was the best choice to go for that one. So I did AIMS in last year, 2022. And after that, because of the networking, I got accepted in also other program, and I think this one is better than what I should get. So for me, AIMS, it was the choice of AIMS. It was to look after the master. It was not only to get the master of AIMS, but it was to look after the master of AIMS, which kind of doors can be opened for me. And that was more attractive than the other option.
Okay. Thank you for the wonderful response. Just a follow-up, you may want to talk about like, I'm sure like you're French speaker, and how were you able to like put some of your applications up, maybe at some point that you may have to, I don't know, how were you able to write your application? Did you write it in English? Did you write it in French? And how were you able to like integrate easily into learning English language, so that like, I don't know if, I just want to know, because I know like probably you are French, you speak French. Yes. And so how, because there are some applicants here we get to know about this, that they don't speak English. Someone reached out to me on WhatsApp. I had to keep changing it to like on Google Translator, right? So how did you go about something like that?
Okay, so before AIMS, I got just basic English. It was just, I can read, but never speak English before AIMS.
Wow.
So all my application, I wrote my application in French. I use Google Translate, and I use an English speaker to try to give some correction in what I was saying. And of course, the good thing is also in the AMS network, there is many French speaker also. Like for my interview with AMS, it was totally in French. I just told them, if I want to make it good, let me speak French. Otherwise, yeah. And there was flexible. They accept to do French for the interview, but all the program is in English actually. So for that one, it was. I think they are flexible for the application. It's better to put it in English, even if you are a French speaker. I think it's better to do that effort and to find someone who can correct for you the English and so on.
No,
Yeah.
okay. That's fine. Thank you for that. Because I know, we had a speaker last year, and I was like, okay, how did you apply for AIMS? He literally said he didn't have a computer. He used his mobile phone to apply to AIMS. And I was like, how managed? I'm like, you see, I know we have a lot of like difficulties like in Africa and all that, but you should not allow these challenges to weigh you down. There are different ways that people are navigating through to tap into various opportunities. And sometimes you reach out to people, you want them to help you. A lot of people are looking forward to seeing what have you done from your own end? What step have you made like in the past to make them wanting to like help you? And you could take a clue from that. For him, he see the language thing as a barrier, and he applied. He kind of like followed up. And I think mentoring is also important. I feel like in this part of the world is very, very underrated. Myself, I would say I'm a product of good mentoring. If not for that, oh my gosh. Yeah, I know at some point I had to do certain things, but at the same time, mentors, and sometimes they've seen it all. So for him, he's currently in the US doing his PhD, and I mean, it's a good thing to talk about. Miriam currently in Princeton, right? The last time I was like, oh, you see, dream school, I want to go to Princeton. Well, I don't even know, Seth. Maybe I'll get to come to your school one of these days or not. I know you graduated from AIMS Ghana, and I mean, I remember like the first time I met you, like we met in Lagos. It was an AIMS alumni program, and yeah, we had this conversation, and you told me, oh, I'm going to Princeton. I'm like, oh, that's great. There's this, a lot of people want to apply to AIMS, and they have some interesting backgrounds, and they're like, do they really, can they connect their background to what is happening? I want to say this, for instance, people have like BSc in math, and they are not so sure. Okay, they are sure that, okay, with math, they can fit into AIMS. But there are other people who have like maybe actuarial science degree, they have other like experience and all that. So the first question which you may want to speak to is, do you see the AIMS opportunity, like when people apply to AIMS, is it just mathematical, like it's just the math thing that we all know about? Are there opportunities that people can tap into? I'm saying this with respect to, I know like there are a lot of like AIMS students who go to attend different workshops that expose them to different like career opportunities out there, and they're able to switch. You, for instance, I believe like you have a background more in math, and now you are doing financial engineering, you're doing it with operations research, combining everything together. I'm like, how did you do it? In fact, let me say this, how did you transfer to like from the AIMS thing? And why saying this, you have to say a lot of things together. For your background, how were you able to connect it to AIMS? Let's start with that. Then after which, how were you able to transit from AIMS to your current position?
Okay, thank you for having me. Okay, so I heard about AIMS from one of my lecturers. He came to Lagos State University to like do a sabbatical. So apparently he's an AIMS alumni, and he was Professor Benyan's student. So his work is on epidemiology, so that's how I heard about AIMS. And I applied to AIMS, I think, when I graduated, but I did not finish it because I was here to get my I was not done. I've graduated, but I'm not done. Like, not done. Your Nigeria setting. So I didn't get in, but I tried it again the second time and I got into Ames Ghana. And I picked Ames Ghana because I felt like South Africa would be too difficult.
Strategy.
I'll surely.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm with you.
Okay. So Ames basically is maths. Like, I think like the main background, like you need to have math in everything you do. But guys, getting to Ames Ghana, it was more diverse. There's diversity in the students, and there's diversity in the course also. We have like there's a chair also, Professor. My God, how will I forget this professor's name? He's my best professor. Whatever. He's here in financial maths and stochastic stochastic calculus. We had lecturers from physics department. We had people who came to introduce quantum. Like, I don't know about other centers, but in Ames Ghana, there was diversity. So irrespective of your background, you fit in. We had course mates from the physics background. We have some from petroleum engineering. We have some from chemical engineering, mechanical, even material science. Like, we had people from different aspects of like science, like science departments come together, and we actually met lecturers in those fields. I had a friend who also switched from maths to quantum, and what I am doing is not different from math. That's the thing. Like, when you're doing financial maths or financial engineering, you are taking stuff from linear algebra, you're taking stuff from probability, you're taking things from maths, and you're just applying them to finance. So there's no difference from it. So the luck we had at Ames Ghana is we get to see that there are different things you can use maths to do. Like, there are different areas where you can apply maths to. Like, when you go into business, you're saying math. When you go into the commercial world, you're saying math. When you go into art, you're saying math. When you go into science, you're saying math. They're like, math is like a language. So you can speak it in any area you want to. That was what I get to learn from Ames Ghana. And after that, I came back to Nigeria. I was lucky to get opportunity to volunteer to like take business maths and operational research in Lagos State University. And that's like opened my eyes more to like, people really don't know the essence of math. And I tried as much as possible to make them see the essence. But at the same time, we know the goal is when you have your master's, that you get a well-paying job or you have a good PhD program. And staying at home and just teaching business maths and operational research was not really doing it for me. So I had to like go for that to learn more. So I went ahead to like online to get some online workshops, online program. And to my notice, even though people don't really know Ames like that, it is well recognized. It is well recognized. So I get into this workshop because I am an Ames alumni, and they did not even try to even see, okay, is this person able to finish this program with us? Is this person able to finish this workshop with us? I was just selected based on the fact that I am an Ames alumni. And because the founders are mostly Ames alumni and they've done fine. Like, we have there's one of my someone who recommended me while I was applying to Preston, Dr. Yakilome. He taught, I think he was taking one of the finance courses in the program. He was one who wrote my application, my recommendation. And from what I heard, his recommendation was the main thing that brought me here. So like, as an Ames alumni, like if you go to Ames, like there is a whole lot of opportunity. It might not be known worldwide. Back in Nigeria, you hear a whole lot of things negative about Ames, but they are not true. Because it depends on you, depends on what you want to use Ames for, like whatever, it depends on what you want anyway. So Ames for me was like a leverage, was the edge to bring me out there, like to like showcase me. And as usual, I always call Ames a passion ground. Like it gets you to see different things. You see the opportunity where math can take you to. You see where the different things you can use math to do. So transiting from math to financial engineering or operational research, it's not really a transition. It's just an open eye. Like this, you can actually use math to do some stuff. Like math is actually needed in our day-to-day life. So you need math to do things. And Ames Ghana showed me that. They made me see that, okay, this is what you can use it to do. And the basis, the pure math, you can actually use them in whatever area you want to put them in. If you're going into, you can also be an artificial medical doctor. Like you can try to do your research in epidemiology, find a way to control diseases with math. I didn't know that while I was doing my undergrad. I was just doing barely pure math, and I was confused. Like, what do we even use this thing that we're using to learn? What are we even using it to do, Seth? What are we using it to do? But one thing I'm glad for going to Ames is it helps me know that, yes, I can use this thing, this abstract thing that I'm learning. I can actually use it to make things work for human beings. So yeah, that's it. So there was not really much transition. It was just just an open eye where you get to realize that you can use math to do a whole lot of things. You can apply it anywhere. Whatever abstract thing you're saying is really, really useful. Even when you walk from one place to another, there's a math going on, there's a calculation going on. You can't make decision based on theory. You can't make decision on say there's a calculation need to come out, a result need to come out. You need to do some analysis, some simulation to predict or to say something is going to happen or to say the reason why something is happening. So math will do that for you because it's the language you have to speak in. It's the language you need to speak to get your results. So there's not really much translation, but it's just that math is useful. I have friends who are doing stuff in quantum and their background is in math. They did not do any physics, but with math they're able to translate. So with math you can really translate. So I think I believe my father now when he said, go and learn math, you fit in anywhere. And I'm like, what don't you use this math to do? It's how fit in anywhere. But it's the truth, you fit in anywhere. My dad is a mathematician, and he also has a master's degree in statistics. But he's a professor in project management. He did not do anything in project management in his undergrad, but because the knowledge of math and statistics has taken him to where he is right now. So even if you have a math background, irrespective, if you have a science background, anything that has to do with calculation, Ames is there to let you know that these things work together. That's one thing I say Ames at. It's just there to help you package your knowledge, like set you well, very well. It's like there to bake you so that you know that, okay, when we are aiming to travel out or do things, it helps you see like, okay, this is what you can use, whatever you have to do. And it brings everything together for it to make sense. So that's
great. Great, fantastic. I mean, this networking thing you mentioned, I mean, I can't recall like a couple of like, I've lost count when people like reach out to me and like, an Ames person said you should send me to you to do this, to do that. I made a post on LinkedIn recently and someone like reached out to me and like, oh, I was just mentioning you on a panel in Washington, D.C. I'm like, okay. Yeah, because he's an Ames alumnus, I am, and he felt, okay, the Ames alumni thing, he just feel like he should reach out and the next opportunity should come to me, right? So I'm not saying if you do not go to Ames, you can make it, you can. But I'm saying that if you have the opportunity, if you have everything that is required you can apply. It could just be your stepping stone to wherever you may want to be. And the whole idea is we want to develop Africa. We want to make Africa self-sufficient in a certain ways. And to do this, you may want to get a good education first and see how you can help your continent. One of my friends, she's doing a PhD in finance in University of Alabama, and reached out to me and was like, hey, hello, There's some math that we are doing in this finance I don't understand. At the end of the day, I'm like, everybody needs this quantitative background, ideas, and skills, even those who are into data science. If you, the people coming up with those, the algorithms, the techniques, the softwares people are using, there are kind of like back-end people who come up with algorithm that build those things in such a way that they give to those designing software to implement it. So if you know both ends, imagine you're working with a company now, you tell them you can design a code yourself, you can design, you can teach it in a way, like maybe mathematically, and at the same time you can design the code, and at the same time you can push it to the end users. I feel like your negotiation, your pay will be more when you're trying to have this negotiation. That will take me to my friend who is currently a PhD candidate doing data science in Ireland. He went to he was at AIMS Rwanda. I also graduated from AIMS Rwanda. In fact, I was among the first cohort of AIMS Rwanda. And we've been talking, chatting, and all that. I remember when I was doing maybe when I finished my PhD in Benin, we had this conversation, and I'm like, please, AIMS is there. You really need to tap into the opportunity. But I want to tell you this because I know you graduated from University of Ibadan. You've seen so many things, and of course you would have seen a couple of your friends, like they've gone into other things. How did you hear about AIMS? Let me say that. And did you have how were you able to structure your application in such a way that you were successful then? And if you also want to add to it, what people call JARA, you may want to talk about common mistakes that people usually make in this AIMS application thing. Basically, it's just around those things. Jimo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, can you hear me? Good day.
Yes.
Good day, everyone. My name is Toyib Jimo. So I'm actually from Nigeria, and bachelor's degree in statistics from University of Ibadan. So straight to my AIMS experience and then how I was able to get to this place I am currently. So I started a master's degree program at University of Ibadan before going to AIMS. That was in 2021. So I think I started just about a month or less than 2 months, let's say. So I started a master's program at UI, my former department, statistics department in UI. So, and it was even on a scholarship before I got the master's scholarship of AIMS. So I just brought this one into it so that people can know that I actually left that one. I left it for AIMS. So why did I leave? I made some consultations, asked some few people, which one is more beneficial, what makes sense to do at this stage, because I was not going to pay for the master's at UI. Then I also got AIMS scholarship. What should I do? Should I defer that one, or should I do that and forget about AIMS? So I was advised that when I get to AIMS, I'm going to have experience that will expose me, like international exposure and other experiences like that. Yeah, so I left the master's program in my former school, and then I go to Rwanda. So I started the program. The structure of the program, we had the skills phase, we had the review phase, then we also had the essay phase. So during the skills phase, I was able to learn certain skills like Python, even though I've known about Python, but I've not been opportune to learn before getting to AIMS at all. So I was able to gain skills, and then I was able to meet people, definitely. So in AIMS is just like a place where they spoon feed you, like everything is structured. There's time to eat, there's time to do everything. So there is a particular time whereby they started telling us that we should start applying to schools. So that time, I asked myself, because I left a master's program in my country, Nigeria, to go to AIMS. So I asked myself, where are you going after AIMS? So, so due to the experience I've been having at AIMS, you know, the 24/7 power supply, stable, I mean, there's 24/7 internet as well. So I told myself that I should not go back. I should not just go back to the country. I mean, struggling all over again. Then what should I do? I started taking all these things serious. You know, they told us to start applying. So I was using social media most of the time. Then I used Twitter a lot. So I just search for what I want, PhD in this on Twitter. So I use the search keyword. So that is my own usage of social media most of the time. So I search PhD in statistics, PhD in data science, different things like that. So I will check the results, the one that coincides with what I want. I will note it down. I have a kind of document where I used to write the application, the deadline, everything like that while I was at AIMS. So in all, I remember I applied to like 7. So I did 3 interviews, everything, they were PhD programs. So of course I had love letters, I had 4. Then I had 3 interviews out of these 7. So fortunately, I was able to get this one I'm currently in by the Science Foundation Ireland Center for Research Training Foundations of Data Science. So I'm currently at University of Limerick. So during the application process, yeah, I've learned some things about application. You know, I've used Twitter. I follow some people that post opportunities, how you can apply, what are you supposed to do, how to write your statement of purpose and everything like that. So, and then with the advantage that I know a little about writing, so it also helped me. I tried to write the statement of purpose. In fact, I submitted on the last date of the application, like the last hour, so I submitted my application. So in this sense, I would say it is much more important to submit a good application rather than submitting early. I don't think they consider anyone that submitted earlier if the application is not good. So I would say it's better to make the application very standard. So with the knowledge, I was able to, like, you know, I submitted the application. I was just listed for the interview. And then before I could attend the interview, I communicated with one of our alumnus. Yeah. And an interesting thing is that out of all the 4 Africans that we have for our program here, 3 of us are AIMS alumni. 3 of us are AIMS alumni. We barely have Africans in our program here, and we are just 4 currently. So 4 of us out of the 4, 3 of us are from AIMS. So I communicated with one of our alumni. So I asked about something. I think she told me about, she gave me some insight. And then also I tried to go back to how can I do an interview successfully. I use YouTube and then some documents. I tried to go through possible questions, and I think I was able to do well in the interview. So eventually I'm here. So I would say that what's contributed to my success, I mean, of the application, the most important thing is the experience I've had at AIMS, because I was able to learn some skills like Python, coding. You know, I do not know how to use Python before going to AIMS at all. So when I got there, I was able to learn that. So the skills, it gave me confidence, because when I was writing it, I said, like, I was a current student at that time. I wrote it as a current student. I said, as a current master's student at AIMS, I can do this one. I've learned this, I've learned that, because I wrote everything there. So I was a student at that time. And then I do not even know what I was going to have after AIMS before I applied into the program. And then fortunately, I was able to get it. So I think that is just all about how I applied and all. So about common mistake that people might have during application.
I think I should come back to that. Sorry to cut you short.
Okay.
I think I should come back to that so that I'll make it a general question, so that that guest speakers will talk about that. Sorry.
Okay, that's
yeah, because time is going, and let's catch up with the next person. Then I'll just make that a general question. Thank you for Antonia. Please get prepared. I don't know if you're still there. You mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I'll reach out to you soon. Yeah, thank you for this, the conversation, how you keep track. I mean, because sometimes it's a difficult decision. I will say this, like, as regards to me, like, I had my first master's in Nigeria before I had my second master's at Ames, Rwanda, and going for a second master's, people will be like, are you sure? I'm not saying like it's not everyone that had their second master's at Ames. Some it was just their first master's, and some it's second and all that. But you see, for him, he was doing a master's, and he was convinced, not everybody that will be convinced that, okay, it's the good one for me. And he got there, and he was making use of probably his calendar, his notes, his jotter to track the deadlines. I remember, like, we were talking at some point, he told me about this opportunity. He immediately mentioned that. I told him, I know someone in that same school. Her name's alumni. She's my friend, and she's currently there. Yomi is currently even on board. I mean, if you look at the Ames, the advert that we show, the lady on that advert, that's Yomi. She's currently on a PhD, like in data science, the same school. I'm like, oh, Yomi is there. You talk to her and all that. So that's sometimes how the networking thing works. And I'm so like happy and excited that you're there doing well for yourself and representing yourself the right way. So last year we had the same program, and to the glory of God, like 4 people who attended the program got selected at Ames. I mean, they got selected. And currently they are in different parts of like the Ames centers. So one of which is Antonia. Antonia, you can actually switch on your video if it's convenient, because I could see like the last time you were talking to your friends, they may just want to say hi to us. Antonia is currently in Ames, Cameroon. And I know like, I had my PhD in the University of Benin, and I know she also had like a BS from the University of Benin. I had industrial master's degree and a master's level, and she also has like I think industrial master for BS. And you were here the last time. You listened to us, and you also did your own research findings, and you were able to like connect some of these things together, and you were selected. So how did you do it? Do you think like there are certain routines that you went through that made you made you stand out, and you got selected eventually for the Ames program? Antonia.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ibrahim. Yeah, good evening, everybody. Sorry, I'm kind of in class. I think we don't hear background noise, but yeah, we are students. We are doing our assignments. So I think just like Dr. Ibrahim said earlier, I think I started application. I and my friend, I started application in December, I think, and everything was just very somehow because I was just leaving school I think I left in September, and University of Benin can be very, very stressful. I didn't have my transcript. Like, there was just a lot. I remember specifically that the day I joined this Zoom call last year in, I think, February. Yeah, I asked the question. I had dragged my application from last year, like from the year before, of course. And I was like, how am I going to apply without my transcript is needed and all of that? And then I think I was asking, and they answered me, and they said if I needed more clarification, I could send an email. I sent an email, and they explained to me how I could do that, like I could work my transcript. So yeah, the meeting was very, very helpful for me. Also, I got a cheat code. I got Dr. Ibrahim's application, what's it called? The template
of magic.
Yeah, the template is talking about. So I got it, and of course, just like Miriam said, you don't just copy, or who was saying it, and you don't just copy someone's application. It's just there for a guide, right? So I put my personal story. I filled the application, and I must say something. So AIMS collaborates with MasterCard, and you don't know you're a MasterCard scholar until when you're in AIMS. I think we were chosen, I think about 30 of us in my center in Cameroon here. We are 60, and about 30 of us were chosen as MasterCard scholars. They're only 10. I think AIMS Cameroon and maybe AIMS Rwanda are the only ones that do AIMS cooperative masters is 18 months, unlike the other 10 months. And in cooperative masters, you do 12 months of normal school and 6 months of internship. I'm a co-op student. So the 10 of us are MasterCard scholars. But then for the 20 people that they selected that are just structured master's students, they were told like, okay, how do they select them as MasterCard scholars? And they said your story, your leadership, because MasterCard is the foundation that is very concerned about this kind of thing. And the benefits, like almost everybody has spoken about benefits of being an AIMS alum, the network. Now, imagine having AIMS alum network and having MasterCard Foundation network. You're having to two for just one stay in AIMS. It's very, very cool. Yeah. So I think that while you guys are applying, as we are going to, because he has already said he's going to send his template again this year, as you're looking through his template and you're using it, make sure that you write your story such a way that it's captivating, and you tell people, intimate the readers about how you are a leader, so that perhaps they are selecting for MasterCard scholars. You would also not just get admission into AIMS, but yeah, you would also be selected as a scholar. That's it.
Wow, that's profound. So you could see, I know like a lot of people, like they're dropping messages for me, you know, asking questions. Even people have reached out to me, applied 1 time or 2 times or 3 times and all that. Sometimes it's about like you want to tweak your application, you want to rewrite it, you want to say it, you want to say something in a certain way that will be different from others. Myself, I applied twice. So the first time I applied to AIMS, I was just filling it as if I'm filling my Facebook details. I was just, when they ask questions, I just give them one response. Where are you from? I'm from here. Do you have leadership experience? Maybe no. How do you see yourself in the next few years? Maybe I don't know. I just put something there. You don't expect that. And my referees, oh my gosh, maybe they submitted my recommendation a day after. You understand? So I could not follow up. So the following year, I reached out to my mentor, and it was like, okay, I will check your profile again. Then we reached out to an AIMS mentor, and an AIMS alumnus then, and the person also checked it, and that was how I was able to sell myself. And we have to say this. Sometimes we've put in so much effort, like the way she said, Antonia said, you have a lot of things. Maybe you've drafted essay, you've done it this way, you've done it that way. The only barrier might just be that you are missing out on the keywords. Like this applies to, I think, even job search. You have a job there's a job advert and the responsibilities are there, regardless of whatever you've written on your CV. If those keywords in the job responsibilities are not there, in fact, the computer itself can just scan the CV and like, this is where this belongs. So there are things that AIMS is looking forward to, your leadership experience, you know, how you plan to give back to the society, apart from your academic excellence and all that. So I think MasterCard offers jobs to AIMS MasterCard alumni. Yeah, I mean, an AIMS alumnus is just telling me this now. Of course, when MasterCard, they've paid for you and there's an advert and you kind of like reached out and you put it on your CV. We are not saying automatically, but at least people who they have kind of like invested in you. They may want to see you flourish beyond, you know, just investing to someone who is new. So I know a lot of people who are here are so much eager to like get to know more about the application, which I think people must have checked this out. I introduced it briefly, but just a kind of like round up before we begin to entertain questions from you guys. I may want to ask the guest speakers, like you guys specifically, I'll pass it around actually. What are the things or like the common mistakes or perhaps misconceptions about this AIMS program that maybe you've observed over time? It could be in terms of nationality. People may think that probably if there is no AIM center in their country, they may not be selected. People may think that maybe if they don't speak a particular language, they may not be selected. Are women, ladies encouraged to apply? So can you express or tell us the common mistakes you've seen over time? Because many of you, like you went to AIMS, you knew what a lot of people said, you got into AIMS, you graduated from AIMS. Even some people who are still trying to apply, they are reaching out to you, asking you questions, and you see common mistakes that people make, and you want to speak to them. So I assume that, okay, this audience now, they're about to send in their application. How will you advise them? What are the mistakes you've seen so far, the trends you've seen so far, the misconception, and how would you advise them to go about it? So we have to come back to Dr. Ines. Because let me also say this. I know you're a postdoc in South Africa, in South Africa. You must have seen this, and you have a lot of experience. You've gone into a lot of AIMS program. Would you like to talk about these common mistakes and misconceptions?
Thank you, Dr. Mike. About the misconceptions, people believe that AIMS is only for mathematicians. AIMS actually is African Institute of Mathematical Science. It means that there are physicians, there are people with engineering background, any other quantitative background can apply to AIMS. So AIMS is not only for mathematicians. Also, I hear about some people saying that South Africa is very competitive and it's only for people who are so smart. I don't think it's true. Because when you apply, you have option to choose which center you want. Maybe your first choice. I think there are two choices actually. You can apply for AIMS Ghana or Senegal. Some students, they prefer maybe Senegal or Cameroon because they are French-speaking countries. Mm. So I think it's wrong. AIMS South Africa is not only for smart people. All the centers are for smart people actually.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I know. I remember the first time I applied. Like I told you, I didn't do my research, so yes. I wanted to go to South Africa, so I just chose South Africa. Of course, I knew I didn't send in a strong application, and I was not successful. But the second time I sent in my application, I just didn't want to choose South Africa, right? But I feel like the application I sent into Rwanda would have also helped me get into South Africa. Because the first time I applied, I was just typing, like I told you, it was as if I was filling my social media profile. I was just giving a one-word answer and all that. So like you said, there are smart people everywhere. Miriam, to the best of my knowledge, she went to AIMS Ghana and she's doing well for herself, and and a couple of other people, different, they spread across the world doing well for themselves, bagging their PhDs, those who are going to the industry, doing all sorts of things, So, Eri, you may want to say something about misconceptions you've heard, that you think most students usually or potentially.
Yes, so maybe I can emphasize to what Dr. Ines said. So for most of the people, they think AIMS is for mathematicians, and they think it is hard to make it at AIMS. Yeah, actually, AIMS is more about the opportunities you can get at AIMS. It's better to to think about what we can do at AMS than to check every time your background if it fits exactly what AMS is doing. Like me, I have a background in mathematics. No, I don't have a background in mathematics. I have a background in engineering. And at AMS, I found people with a background in education, a background in other engineers, mathematicians as well. Also, but also, I think most of the people that are from computer science. So it's not only to do pure maths, and that is the first, the requirement to go at AMS. And also maybe another thing I can also say is when you are doing AMS is not only after AMS you have to do a PhD. You know, I think most of the people think also that, mainly in French speaker countries, they think that AMS is just a preparation to do a PhD. But also when you look, there is many people who are working after AMS. You can get internship, can get, there is very good opportunities for internship after AMS. And AMS is funding maybe 6 months internship where they are paying you to find a job. So it's something like very interesting when you do that. So AMS is not only for mathematicians, and AMS is not only for people who want to do a PhD after. You can want to do it, but you can also want to get a job or other experience. Yes.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that. Before I go on to the next speaker, I feel like, so I don't know, some people, like I may not get to recognize you by your name because it's showing maybe device name that I'm not too sure about. Of course, let me just use this time to recognize a few people that I'm seeing here now. So Yomi was here the last year. I mean, last time she was among the guest speakers, and she's currently here. I'm sure like we'll still get to hear from her today. Let me see. So Mark is one of the speakers, and I didn't know how Mark was. Maybe he felt there was no need for him to tell me about his situation. Could you believe that? Yeah, don't let me just say this. Today happens to be Mark's wedding. He's just got wedded, right? So when I reached out to him and I told him about it, I'm like, oh, you should have told me you are getting married today. But it's like, no, I am still going to take out time to encourage people, young Africans like me, and to tell them about him. So he just gets wedded today. So you're talking about the latest husband in town. They're coupled with the latest couple. Because you have to like thank your wife for giving you the opportunity to like, because I know most women want to like hold on to their husband. We just got married, but he felt like, no, I will still try as much as I can, like to meet up and come around. Thank you for showing up. I know you've been stressed, and congratulations once again. I mean, you're leaving the stage for the single, so we are following your track, right? So congratulations once again, and I'm so excited. I'm happy for you. You know, as you are also like progressing. In your academic trajectory, you are also like bringing other things together. Of course, I will want to ask you a question, but just take your time, chill. You may even want to share your experience briefly about today's event. It's fine, but if not, you can also go straight into the question I'll be asking you. I know like you were at Ames, from there you went to Cambridge, you know. I mean, you want to share your experience. I know you're into math modeling as well. You do a lot of interesting research. Do you think at any point in time when you wanted to apply to Ames, was there any major issue like challenges, as you know, the Africans we normally face, which you may want to talk about, how you were able to maneuver it, how you found yourself to Ames, and how you were able to connect to Cambridge from Ames?
My brother, thank you very much for that long introduction. I'm very grateful for this invitation. Miriam, how are you? It's been a while. Happy to be my mate at Ames, and I'm happy that she's doing well. Yeah.
This guy should take us out, huh?
Yes, I'm very happy to be meeting her here. Yeah. Yeah. So honestly, like I can't miss this program because it's something dear to my heart. So I'm Mark, as Ibrahim introduced. I'm a current PhD student at University of Cambridge, UK. And I just had my wedding ceremony. So I sought permission from my wife that she just allows me with some few minutes of my time. And she has granted that to me. So I'm happy for that.
Thank you.
Now, I think we could start from the issue that we're discussing about what makes people afraid of applying. I think after university, something happened that was like, I was maybe afraid that, I heard about AIMS. A senior told me about AIMS, and I was thinking, like, okay, so these people are the brightest young Africans. So that means they are not only Ghanaians. I'm a Ghanaian, so I'm going to compete with all the whole of Africa. Oh, wow, this is something interesting. So can I also try my luck? So I was like contemplating upon that. But what makes me happy, and that is why I am very motivated to partake in this program, is I had a mentor, someone who had already completed AIMS. So I got that person one-on-one. The person tried to let me know how the application goes, how the processes are. And then he also encouraged me, because he had got that experience from AIMS, that AIMS is a training center. It is like an apprenticeship area where people are trained. You don't have to know everything before you go to AIMS. AIMS is just a training. If you happen to be there, it's something interesting that they will train you. So he encouraged me to apply for AIMS. And so I applied. But one thing that I would like to say and share with everyone here, so to motivate everyone here, is, even as Ibrahim was saying, it's not only academic excellence that will take us far. It's how willing we are hoping to help others that will take us far. Let me share my experience. Let me put a little bit about, okay, let me start from the AIMS. So when I applied for AIMS, but then when I finished AIMS, I moved home. No, sorry, university, and I university, I moved home for my national service. So I found out in my community there was no piano school here. So what I did was, let me think about, by then I started learning piano. So let me start also teaching those young kids, so that in future, even if I'm not there, they could replace me. Even for any, or at least they'll get something that they can dwell on in the future. So then I began with this piano school, and then the amount of money that I was using to fund this program was what I had from my national savings, something small, but I was using that money as our main source of funding. So we started, and about 6 months, then AIMS application came to mind. So when I was applying, and I wrote that I am a founder of so piano school for kids, which I don't take anything. And by then I had got more than 30 kids that I was training. So my application, you see, AIMS, even as Ibrahim was saying, they asked about, are you a leader? Have you started any community initiative? Those stuff. So what I was writing was, I started this, and in future, I foresee that if I get more, I invest more. And lo and behold, even as I started saying, people are interested to help those who are willing to help others. So I think that was one of the key things that helped me in my application and the admission into AIMS. So I will encourage that. Let's also try to, as much as possible, do something small. It could be in any small form that we could help do to help our communities. Because if the communities we get the best from the community, it's to our own benefit. We can't always blame others that these politicians are doing this, they are doing this, they are doing that. But the question is, what am I also doing as a good citizen? What am I also doing? That's the essence of education.
And we can't hear him.
Sorry, is it now fine?
Okay, yeah, it's fine now.
yeah, so I don't want to bore you more about my stay at Ames. Let me say something small out there and then talk about the transition from Ames to Cambridge University. So at Ames, because of this piano initiative, when I went there, I love piano. And so I discussed with Miriam and other colleagues of mine who were there that, oh, I was doing this, something like this. And when they heard about that, they all like, they naturally, they had that love for me. So during our batch, it's as everyone like, hey, Mark, everyone like, they want to. Why I was not doing anything, maybe the top of the class, but people were happy about what I was doing. And so they were always encouraging, motivating, and that really helped at my stay at Ames. Graduating from Ames, back home, so when I came, the piano school was like, you see, I was the world champion, the course. Fine. In my absence, we put things in place that we had directors and people were taking charge. But sometimes, you see, when you have the vision and when you're not there, it's like it comes down a bit. So when I came, it was like things have gone down a bit. So I had to revamp. So together with the team, we started doing things again. So I was thinking about after my Ames, honestly, I was thinking about applying for another master's program. That was what I was thinking about. So I remember I applied for another master's program at University of Saskatchewan at Canada. So this senior colleague of mine who had finished Ames, by then he had an internship program at Canada. So he moved, and by God's grace, he met a professor, and the professor got interested in him. So he got a PhD position at Memorial University. So he's now a PhD student there. So I was there and he called, Mark, so what's the plan? And I told him I've applied for another master program. Yeah, then he encouraged me, oh, that is fine. It's good. But I just saw an advert from the site of University of Glasgow, yeah, for a PhD position. And by then during my time at Ames, I worked on Corby. So my paper, we were able to publish before I graduated from Ames. So at least I had like that research experience. So this senior of mine said, oh, you could try. Then I emailed this professor, told her, Barbara, I'm so, I've done this, I'm interested in your area, so. So the professor replied back that, Mark, I am interested, like, when I got your credentials and what you have been doing, I mean, I see that you're a serious student, but I don't have enough funding. So, but I know a colleague at University of Cambridge who has like that package for African scholars. So you could try emailing her. So I started, so I followed up on that and then contacted my supervisor, the one who supervises me now. The part I want to talk about is here. So at Cambridge, when you apply, you have to first see a potential supervisor. After he or she has agreed, then what you do is you go ahead and apply. So when you apply for 2 weeks or so, they will call for interview, meet panel professors. So that's online, either Zoom or any other medium, you do that. So on the day of my interview, I think we were to use 1 hour. The chairperson for that interview, I think when we started the interview, but then that when I was also applying for Cambridge, they asked about what have you done, those community like initiative, those stuff. So then I also added the piano because now we have even got more students. So I added that there. So when he started the interview, the professor asked, Mark, so now tell us about yourself. Who are you? What have you been doing? Then so I've done this research, this, that. They say, no, Mark, wait. I read that you have established a free piano school in your community. Tell me about how is it run? How is it? So I think half of the time for the interview, we spent it on the piano. We're talking about piano, how I am able to mobilize the kids. What's my vision? I think the vision was to help these kids. I think that will make them come closer to me so that I could invest in them, mentor them, advise them, enlighten them on several things that they had not seen. That is the main mission for me the piano school. But sometimes if you just call them, they will not come. So you have to do something so that you can get them. So then we talked about that. So it was like a discussion. So then the later part, then we talk about my research work and those stuff. So honestly, after that interview, I got the sense that I've already been picked because of the conversation, how things started and those stuff. So that really encouraged me that in life.
Wow.
It's about what how we are willing to. So, my brother, it seems I'm taking all the time. Let me pause here. Other than that, I think I got more. The only thing that I would say is, I am very happy about this initiative. Please, as much as we get our emails, we are there. I know Miriam very well, and I know my other colleagues who are also key speakers. Please get our emails. Let us talk. If we are even to arrange extra meetings, we are. Honestly, personally, I am willing. Let's have meetings.
Yeah. So thank you for that. What I intend to do is, I don't know. I know people can. WhatsApp can really get messy. So what I'm looking at, like I did last year, is to create the WhatsApp group, which I think I sent a link to people, the broadcast I had. People should just join the WhatsApp, and we had the speakers, and you can begin to ask your questions. But the speakers will have to answer based on their if they are convenient, if they have their free time, because I know it's so difficult to keep track of some of these things, and I know it could be difficult for them. So you can drop the message. Even myself, I'm super busy, but if you join the WhatsApp, drop your message. I know if I'm not available, maybe someone else will be available to drop the message and kind of follow up. Because I know last year there are people that called me. There's a guy currently, I think Ames Cameroon. He told me, I'm having an interview with Ames Cameroon, and can you just enlighten me? And I told him a lot of things, sent him documents. We had a mock interview and he got it. So sometimes too, after you've been selected, they may have to do an interview for you, and you want to begin to speak in the right way, and yeah, so I think I can see my sister
It
here.
seems like the time that my wife gave me is elapsing. So maybe
we really do appreciate your effort. I mean, special thanks to her for giving you that opportunity. I mean, once you feel like the time is up, please, we don't want to get into the time she has given to you. Help us to thank her. Thank you for coming around and to share your experience about your piano, the leadership thing we're talking about, regardless of whatever you think you even if it is little, people are looking for those who can make impact, taking leadership roles and all. It could even be in a very little way. It could even be in your church, in your mosque. How are you leading, and how can you bring this into your application? Okay, so thank you so much. And as soon as you think the time has elapsed, you are free to leave. Then if not, we still want to have you. Yeah, I can see my sister here. Thank you for showing up. I know you can as well share this with your household, or whichever one. Good to see you.
Sorry, please. Sorry for the
let me introduce. What do you say?
Sorry for the interruption. So I think I can end here.
Yes.
So the final word is, Ames is a fantastic place where people are trained. You don't have to know before you get there. So let's be happy that we have got the Ames opportunity.
Yes.
And let's also build the network and the connection. So let's chat afterwards. And I wish you all the best and good luck. Hope to have personal chat with you. All the best. Bye.
Thank you so much. I'll reach out to you and follow up with you. Thank you so much. In regards to your wife and everyone. Dr. Hamid Fatoyibo, thank you for also making it. He was here last year. He was among the speakers, and they said a whole lot of things that help people won the scholarship. I know you're in New Zealand, and I know it's very early, and probably you guys are supposed to be sleeping, but it's still you want to make it. And thank you so much for showing up. As I encourage a lot of people, if you can activate your camera, it's super fine. But if it's not, then it's okay. We also want to thank our team members that have been working tirelessly to ensure that we are able to have a successful event and like this webinar. I don't know if we may still have to go over this again, because I mean, maybe we should entertain questions. But before we delve into that, please, if you have questions, maybe you can just signify. You can signify so that I will know the number of questions we have. And no matter how ridiculous the question could be, it doesn't mean, I mean, any question just kind of like makes sense. And so that I will know if we have to, spend more time doing that. But briefly, let me just go around. Miriam, are you still there? Oh, okay. Can you respond to the last question I'm passing on misconceptions, right? Yeah.
I think the misconception gets to be like, a lot of people feel like you need to have like a pure math background, which one way I will agree to it, you need to have like a level of like mathematics, like math background. But as far as whatever you're doing is quantitative and you are within the science region, maybe you're doing math and economics, math and biology, whatever, like AIMS is accommodating. So AIMS will accommodate you. Then the main misconception, especially in Nigeria, is like they feel like the masters from AIMS is not valid. I've had spoke to about AIMS and they did not come because they feel like it's not valid. But we've seen a lot of people finish from AIMS. These people are having PhD in countries that are way better than Nigeria. So when you tell me the masters at AIMS is not valid, really do not make sense, because they might not get the full training on courses. Like we all know the whole setting about AIMS is like, max, you have 3 weeks to like go through some courses, like courses that is meant for 3 months. You have to do it within 3 weeks. And we know how that short, it's like the way things you're going to see are a bit concise, like they're not you'll see them in depth, but you usually do some rigorous stuff. That's one beautiful thing about AIMS. But you can't say the masters from it is irrelevant, because people are actually using it to get better offers in better countries. So that misconception, I like telling people that if it's the best thing for you is that you go through this program, or you do whatever you like. Because the fact where you're saying the masters coming from this, because the institution is affiliated to the best universities in that country. So, and if the best university in that country is saying they are going to issue a master's degree to a student from this institution, then you should let you know that they vet the institution and they know how authentic it is. So that part there is most times they feel like the degree from AIMS is not really valid, which really does not make sense. That's it. So
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
to add, I remember my professor's name, Professor Olivier. And again, if you, especially to the Nigerians here, if you want to talk about leadership and things you've done, there is one gift Nigeria has given us, which is the NYSC. That's the best gift Nigeria can give you when you want to apply to anything. Because if you are serving, please do as much as possible to reach out to the young ones in the community. Do something. Those things will help you. It actually helped me in my application. Because when they said, okay, what have we done? I just listed everything I did in NYSC. I didn't have the opportunity to rule anything during my undergrad, like to rule or show any sign of leadership. I was just the HOC, and I was just with boys that, do they even listen to me? All they have to do is, Miriam, please, after is the assignment, when is the lecturer coming? So not much, but during NYSC, you get to express who you are. You get to show leadership. You might either be teacher or you might be head of a group. You have associations going out to reach out to people. So make good use of your NYSC and do as much as possible to reach out to people during your NYSC. Like the NYSC story helps when you're talking about leadership and all that. Then MasterCard, MasterCard is a combination of if you are very poor and if you are showing sign of leadership. MasterCard too will drill you. Like you will also show that yes, you are a leader. That's one. MasterCard is the best experience I had at Ames. Ames is where you have to study and not sleep, but MasterCard made it fun because on Sunday we have to meet people to do things. Like we actually shared stuff during the COVID. Yes, I was during the pandemic. I was still at Ames. We had to reach out to the community. We're teaching community students on Sunday, and we had most of our lecturers who came from overseas participate in the program also. So I'm sure you want to hamper your application very well and be more on the leadership and things you've done for your community. And don't just let it be in writing, let it be part of you, because if you end up in a MasterCard, they will test you. You have to express that part of you. So that's the answer for misconception. Like, yeah, Ames is wonderful. And if you get into Ames, the best thing for you to do is make good use of the opportunity and the network. That's it. And learn well. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's so profound. Just a follow-up to that. I mean, let me see. Yeah. So I'm just sharing my LinkedIn profile. If any of you are on LinkedIn, if you go on LinkedIn and you scroll down, you're going to see like, you see my profile. Then when you go down, you see like WES evaluation. WES is called like World Education Service. I had literally like all my degrees evaluated, including the one I have in Nigeria, Rwanda, and all that. WES is a standard organization that even if you want to do, I'm just saying it for instance, if you want to do, let's say, anything in some Western world, like maybe US, Canada, and all that, the government wants you to go through the process. And when WES evaluated my master's, they said it's equivalent to the masters of the country I am. So don't allow the misconception, because people say a lot of things to discourage you from doing it. Even when I was applying for my master's, when I was to go to Ames, they told me a lot of things. But I think you should be self-motivated to do some of these things. I think it's just good. Maybe we should begin to observe people who want to speak. So who wants to ask questions. So as we're about to go to the question session, I think, Yomi, if you are still there, Dr. Fatoyibo, if any of the questions we can call, you can respond if you think like it's something you would like to make comments about, because you guys were here last year and you have Ames experience and you may want to say one or two things. So let me observe Arnold, am I pronouncing your name right? So can you speak, Arnold?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you just tell us your name and probably your study, your program, like your discipline? Yeah, maybe.
Okay. My name is Arnold. I studied civil engineering from the University of Benin. So presently I work as a data scientist at Easyfin Technologies Limited. So I have two questions. But I have some questions. One is, does using unofficial transcripts reduce your chance of being selected? Because Nigerian university, it takes a lot of time for sometimes you get your transcript. So I want to know, if you use unofficial transcript, maybe like a student copy transcript, does it reduce your chance of being selected? Then
just complete your question so that
Then doing application, Ames normally give these math and programming questions. So I want to know if any of the speakers have maybe like reference or some pointers to where maybe what you can study, some areas you can study to kind of like just prepare yourself for those questions. And then, is it also possible for maybe somebody to help you to review your application, like your motivation letter or SOP?
So thank you for your questions. Maybe as going forward, you should ask like maybe one or two questions. Then if you have any other questions, you can drop it on the WhatsApp group I created. But just quick one, which I know a lot of people may want to ask. When you say any copy, like when you say student copy, do you mean the one issued by the school and signed by the HOD and it is written boldly on it as student copy? Or the one you typed yourself on Microsoft Excel or Word? Or what you downloaded from your school database? I want to be sure of what you meant by student copy.
I'm talking about the one you prepare yourself.
You prepare by yourself. Okay. So please, you guys, you respond.
Okay, so let me come in. I think you want to use the one issued by your school. In Lagos State University, they have student copy and they have official copy. So if you get the student copy from your school, it's fine. But during the program, AIMS will request that your school send them an official transcript and your official certificate. I have to do that also. I have to send back to the school and they have to send me an official transcript where the vice chancellor have to stamp on it, and they will AIMS will surely verify your certificate. So if you are coming with anything fake, they will surely verify it during the program. So I think what you want to do is don't type it yourself. Request from your school as soon as possible. So make sure, like, before you start your application, if you are planning to apply in December this year, start applying for your transcript and certificate right now, so that by the time you want to apply, everything is ready. So it's best to get copy from your school, and it's signed by your HOD and the vice chancellor of the school. So on that part, yeah. Then the aspect of exam, I don't know. During my application, there was no exam. I don't know if it has changed now, but I know for the artificial machine learning program, there is an exam. So I think you want to learn stuff on statistics, probability, and basic math, thereabouts, yeah, and calculus. So I don't know material, so I can't really say much on the exam part because during my application there was no exam, so I can't say. Maybe anybody here can.
Yeah, thank you for that. So is there anyone who wants to?
Yeah, I think I should say something about the exam. So for my own year, that was 2021. Yeah. So for AIMS Rwanda, we wrote an exam, entrance exam. So, and it is, I think it's something nice because if you can pass the exam, I think it is one way forward, like compared to when they only assess you based on what you have written. There are so many people that will have maybe written great things. So if you can pass the exam, so I think it will boost your chance. So for the exam, AIMS is really organized. The exam, they are going to send you an email. That is if you're going to write the exam. They will send you an email that will contain what you need to know.
Sorry to butt in. You mean a coding exam or a written exam? Just something.
No, the one we did, it was objective.
Oh.
Like it was mathematics, statistics. No, there was no coding. There was no coding at all. So they're going to send an email about the content, like what someone needs to know, maybe some little probability, some basic linear algebra, some basic statistics. So they're going to send an email like about what the applicant should know. So it is really organized if someone is to write the exam.
So some of these things we will look forward to having you like drop some of these tips on the WhatsApp group. Antonia, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. So I just want to talk about Arnold's question about transcripts. I think Arnold asked that question. So I think that if you can quickly apply for, even if it is a personal copy that you can use, like for example, because I knew I needed to do some applications, Chevening and all of those, I used my father's company email address, because I think for Uniben transcript, you can't use a normal email. So I used that, and
We catch you.
they sent the email to his inbox and he sent it to me. So that was what I used to apply to them, all the applications I did quickly. And the thing is, so when was it called? Ames called me and they did my interview. They asked me to get the original transcript. So in the time where you are just using a, should I say, placeholder transcript, you can make sure that you process. The only thing is that you now pay 2 times, but you can now process original. I think original takes longer than just putting maybe for a company or something. So yeah, I think you can just quickly do that and use that one for the application.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't know. Let me move to the next person. We may get to talk about this, but I feel like there are different ways of getting your transcript. We will talk about this later. Please, this question, if you're having it in mind, you may have to, like, if you have other questions, ask those questions instead of this one that has been asked by your colleague. Man, M-A-N-N. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your last name well. Are you there? So,
can you hear me? Good evening, sir.
okay, good evening. Good evening.
Okay, yes. Okay, my question, I want to make inquiries concerning the AIMS program.
Yeah, can you be
Hello?
fast about it? Yeah, just continue to speak. It's almost time.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay, I'm sorry. So how do I apply? I'm doing a BSc in mathematics in school. Yes, I'm in my 3rd year.
Okay, good. So that's your question, right?
Yes. Yes, by December I should be rounding up.
Okay, good. So you
December
want
of this year.
You want to know if you can apply, right?
Yes, for masters.
Who would like to respond to that?
And then
Okay. Maybe I should talk about that.
Expenses that comes with.
Okay, so you can mute your speaker. Thank you. Someone respond.
Yeah, about whether he can apply. He says he's going to end this program by December. Also,
who is Mr. Sunday? Okay.
Oh, who asked the question?
Yeah, so yeah. I think it's just asking question like if he can apply. Yes, I think he can apply, right? Yeah, so but the only thing is you need to get your transcripts together. Yeah, and
yeah, for now, he's going to end this program by December. So I don't think he can apply. The program is going to start by September latest.
September.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, no, you must have completed your BSc program, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
if it is close to that period, because for you to start the program by September, like you need your transcripts, you need these things to send to AIMS, I don't think you will have that.
So
But
so I'll have to wait till the following year.
Oh, wait, there's
when is the
also
next
AIMS
slot?
Masters in Machine Intelligence.
So let's just
February. You can check.
Yeah, let's just try and manage time. There are a lot of people who wants to ask questions. So this is I use this trick a lot, and for me, I think it works. If I'm eyeing something and they say it's a year ahead, if they're applying, I apply for that same thing, even if I'm not qualified. Do you know why? I want to go through the processes. I want to know what it takes. I want to make the mistake.
Okay.
The graduate committee send me what we call love letter. That's rejection letter. I want them to send me that love letter and say, oh, you didn't do well in this area, you didn't do it. So that next year, even before next year, when I'm just walking around, I'll be having the conversation randomly with people. I applied for that program, I was not selected. What do you think I can do? So that's why I just said, like, I know it was like awkward when I said, oh, you can still apply. But at the same time, ideally, like what Toyib said, you need to have those things, actually. Yeah, you need to have those things. If not,
okay.
you will not be considered again. So do you want to say something? You raised your hand.
Okay, but Sorry, so
Yes. Okay.
None, so can you
Okay.
speak?
Yes. I want to say something. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for organizing this program. It has been wonderful. The question I have is I don't have any mathematical background. We're talking about mathematics, statistics, analytical, and all this. Bigo. I finished from UNN in medicine. I just finished my housemanship late last year. So I want to apply for AI because there's current master's in AI in South Africa in epidemiology. I think it should end by April. So I want to apply for a master's program. And although there's an interview, there are questions there already from people that have applied, and they are statistics. And I'm like, wow, this might be really something else. And
so permit me to interrupt after 1 minute, which I think you've almost spent, but you can just subsequently interrupting after 1 minute.
No problem. Although currently I'm doing a boot camp in data science, but the statistics on the platform is already scaring me. So basically, I don't know if, because that's just the questions I'm seeing.
So who would like to respond to that? Okay, who would like to respond to that? Before
first of all, the statistics. When people say I want to do data science, I want to do data science, I want to do data science, I always look at them. What science? Then when they say the statistics, I'm like, I'm really doing this, and I'm sure. I don't know. I stand to be correct. So during your program, you did. Who's this? You did statistics. Right?
As well. Okay, yeah, I've done that. I've done justice to that.
So some bit of statistics during your program, right?
Just chi-square test or the chi-square.
Yeah.
So it's still maybe you blend in or something. But when you say the epidemiology part, so one thing I would say is anybody can do anything. You can do anything. If you really want to do something, you can do anything. So if it's you getting workshops or programs that would prepare you for that program, because programs like that, they expect you to know a lot. They expect you to know a lot, that you have some level of knowledge. So if you can find programs that will prepare you for, if you really want to do that thing, or you're just trying to test the waters, if that's what you really want to do, then you find programs that will prepare you for that. Like you have to.
Permit me, I need to interrupt you. I think you spent up to a minute. So yeah, I think so. Summarily, I think you can try. Why? I was reading a PhD thesis a couple of years back because I've always had interest in infectious disease modeling. And this guy finished from, I think, UK. He had his first degree like yours. He studied medicine, then he did something in their College of Medicine, something like that in the UK. And what he was basically doing is infectious disease modeling. He just did more, let's say, basic reproduction number and did some kind of statistical analysis to that. I mean, if you have that on your transcript, it's something you can explore. You say you are doing data camp, just find a link. That's what I used to tell people. I have my PhD in applied math, and I used math to solve insecurity problem in Nigeria, like the way I understood it. I treated crime as a socially infectious disease. Do you see that connection? Math, crime, infectious disease. If I brought in statistics and all other things. So I think you can try that. And thank you, Miriam. You just, like you said, you should try it out, not just like it's testing water, but you could adapt some of those things. Let me quickly move to the next person. The law. You want to say something? I think you raised your hand up. Yeah. Are you there? The law. We are really out of time. I don't know if I may have to switch to the next person. Ali Mele. Sorry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Can you say something?
Hello.
Oh, please, can you hold on? I think the law is back. Do you want to say something or you just?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually
in 1 minute, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so I've been trying to apply for AIMS, but then my problem is that I noticed that they really don't select first-class students from English speaking African countries. Like, is that true, or is basically an
Okay.
assumption?
Okay, thank you for that. I don't know if you are, maybe we are first class today from English speaking countries and you went to AIMS, please can you speak up to this? Because I will call names now. Oh yeah, you should speak. I don't know if this is true. Okay, let's step from speaking.
Hi, everyone.
Okay.
This question makes me laugh, and that's why I'm going to respond.
Okay.
So, I'm a first-class graduate of statistics from University of Ilorin, Nigeria, and I got selected at AIMS. So, I really don't know why you said that, but I think AIMS minimum requirement is 2-1. So AIMS is interested in seeing the brightest Africans come together, give them that push they need so that they can impact the continent. So I think you need to look into your application, see if you are putting in the right thing. AIMS is not ready to invest in someone who has the academic performance alone, but doesn't have interest in giving back to the community. So they want to see, what are you capable of doing beyond the knowledge you've acquired in school? What do you want to do after this opportunity we want to give to you? So I think you need to revisit your application. If you need people like Dr. Shegun or one of the speakers to review your application for you, can they do that? I think it's coming from your hand, not from AIMS. Please, AIMS has nothing against first-class graduates.
Anybody that wants to say
When I
something,
finish
you
from
speak
AIMS,
Okay. My question is
One.
have you seen any second-class students from an English-speaking African country?
Oh, that's your question.
Selected?
Let me speak, please. Let me speak to that. I have a second degree from from English speaking country, right? And I know a few other, like I have colleagues who have like second class. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't graduate with a first class, actually. I had the second class upper, what they call it, I don't know. But I think at the end of the day, it's a little bit technical. You could be second class and your result is like first class, you could be second class. It just depends, because I know maybe what AIMS will be looking at is those quantitative courses, those courses that are kind of like related, they're interested in. Do you have an A in those courses? Like if you take a leadership course and you have an A, AIMS will be like, that's the way I feel. I'm not among the selection committee. And if you also have anything to say, is it true that they don't pick second class students?
No, please. I have a friend who had 2-2 from Kenya. I was surprised to see a 2-2. Yes, she had 2-2 from Kenya. And we were together during my time at AIMS. So please don't let your class of honor limit you. Just give it a try, please.
But I need to say this. I think hard work, effort come in play here. If you don't, for instance, if you don't have a first class and you have, let's say, second class, you want to do something extraordinary in such a way that someone wants to bring you on board. He's seeing you that, oh, I think this person can do this. I say this, right? I want to recruit 2 people into my lab, right? One, maybe it's academically cool. The other, maybe it's very close to maybe second class upper. And the other who is second class upper probably knows how to use social media, probably knows how to talk to people. I'll begin to think in my lab, okay, the day we open our social media handle, this is the person that will handle it. So you want to bring in more ingredients to preparing your application or to preparing your soup so that selection committee would look at it. But if you also have first class too, you want to make yourself like the best person out there. You want to bring in a lot of things. This boils down to you need to add leadership skills, you need to do volunteering and a whole lot of things to make your application better. I hope we're able to try. Ali Mela, please, can you say something?
All right, thank you very much, sir. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Be fast, a minute. Don't worry, we are hearing you. It's
okay. My name is Kester from Delta State, and a graduate of mathematics by God's grace, first class from Delta State University. I have 2 questions and 1 request. All right. The first question is, why in applying, I'm seeing some things. For the first one, I'm having Masters in Mathematical Science degree, Cooperative Education Program, Masters in Mathematical Science. So I want to know what.
Next question. Yeah, I've taken.
Next question is by the message of God, I'm currently serving. I'm doing my NYSC now, and I'll be rounding off by October. And I learned the program starts September. So I don't know. What can I do to remedy that situation? Because I have to finish first in October.
Okay, is there anyone that want to respond to that? I don't know.
The request.
You said 2 questions.
And 1 request.
We can ask this request on our WhatsApp group, I guess. Yeah. Thank you. So make sure you join the WhatsApp group, okay?
That's the request. I don't have the link, sir.
Okay, good. Please check your spam folder or your inbox. We'll be sending this email. We'll be sending you emails. I don't know if you missed it or not. Check your spam folder or your
I'm grateful.
Good. So is there anyone that would like to respond to that? I can't see Antonia because I'm sure she's on that co-op path. Dr. Ines, do you have anything to say about the co-op, the 2 programs at AIMS that is asking about? I'm not sure if she's there, right? So do you guys want to say anything about that? Since no one is talking, I'm going to speak. Let me just speak, right? My understanding of the application is once you click on the central link, you're going to see 2 options currently, the AIMS Masters and the AIMS Co-op. I think basically the Masters is just for like, you're going to do the program for 1 year, like the way I did, and you get your master's degree. But the Co-op, beyond the normal 1 year master degree, then they want you to have that industrial experience. So the Co-op, they kind of like introduce some courses that will be useful for you in industry, and you have industrial attachment. So if let's say you are in Ghana, you are doing Co-op, they may have to attach you to some industry to work for a couple of months and all that. If you are from Nigeria and you want to do your industrial attachment in Nigeria, when you go back to your country, you get to do that. So basically, I do not know if you can apply for both programs simultaneously, but if it is possible, I would say shoot your shot. The next person, Kafayat.
Sir, can you apply for the 2?
I don't know actually, because so you may have to try that out from your end. Kafayat, do you want to ask your question?
All right, good evening.
If you have more questions, I will go back to you again, but let's just make sure.
Good evening, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, please be fast, a minute.
So, thank you for the initiative. I have just 1 question. You mentioned earlier that you applied for this program, I think when you were doing your first master's. Right?
Yes.
So how to know when you were applying, did you indicate that you were doing your master's? And also in your statement of purpose, was that included?
Okay.
Did they know you were currently on the session?
Good.
And how does that affect the current application?
Okay, so I can just give like input based on my experience, but I don't know if the decision the selection committee may want to take. For me, I was doing my master's, I was almost rounding it up, and I was waiting for my external examiner. I applied and I indicated it there. I showed them my transcript up to my coursework and said, okay, I'm waiting for the external examiner. And I don't really think that affected anything. I think I was able to sell myself more. So I'm not so sure if it may impact it, because they also
to be more specific, will they ask for the transcript, like the current, probably the result?
So during my time, I don't know about now. During my time, they didn't ask, but I had to like copy. So my BS transcript, I did merge, like I merged my master's transcript with my BS transcript. I uploaded it at once. So sometimes when you have to upload something on any application platform, they may only have a space, let's say, to take your transcript. But you want to convince the committee that you've done this program, you just bring all the PDFs together, you merge it, make sure that the PDF is not logged. Because people used to talk about village people a lot.
And sorry, what if
make sure it's not logged?
Okay, what if I indicated that I'm currently on the master's program and no transcript or results to back it up?
Maybe no transcript.
Or any result to back it up?
Maybe it's understandable. But if you feel like you have not started it or you are just starting, you may be indifferent about it and take your decision. Most especially if you feel like you have an interesting first degree, you may not want to cause that distraction, but sometimes it may also help. So thank you for your question. So the next person.
Sorry for cutting you short. My second question was
I will come back to that. Please, you ask your question again. Let me just take this next person. So your name, your number or your name is 833 something, but I don't know your name. Can you say something? You want to ask a question? 833-935. Oh, okay. So once you are done, just do let us know. We'll move straight to the next person. It's almost time. Adekunle, do you want to ask a question? Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
A minute, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. I want to especially thank the organizers of this program and all AIMS scholars who have made it this program. Thank you all. So basically, I'm a first class graduate of mathematics, and I think I applied this year. Then I think I sent you a direct message. I launched a career in data science. So presently, I think I'm self-learning data science and
Are you there?
Okay.
Okay, so
presently at the match, don't know because I chose AIMS Ghana, and I am asking because I went online, I saw something. I saw the cooperated, this structured program or so. So I don't know. I want to be very sure about the center. I think the center has to do with the program I'm choosing now. I want to know, does AIMS Ghana have a data science program? Or do we have
who want to
selected
respond to that? I know
centers?
AIMS Cameroon has data science option, like co-op, something like that, because that's what Antonia is doing. So those who went to AIMS Ghana and other AIMS center, please, do you have AIMS? Do you have the data science option? Or it does look like, it looks like there's an independent data science program. So please, who would like to speak to that?
Yeah, so I can speak for the data science. Yeah, in AIMS Rwanda, there is a data science stream. The years before, there was a data science and climate science, but from this year is only data science stream. And there is also another stream, they call it just other. You can do whatever you want, but the mainstream this year in AIMS Rwanda is data science. So if you want to apply, you can apply for AIMS Rwanda, I think.
Okay, but sorry, I have
How about AIMS Ghana? Please, those who went to AIMS Ghana.
Hello. The thing about AIMS Ghana is, I don't know, maybe this year they want to have data science, but during my time, they were having the African machine learning program. Like from Ghana, it moved to Senegal. But for now, I know they like all masters is what's going on, but maybe they want to add the data science. I don't know about it. Maybe currently they want to add that. That is new. But during my time, I don't know. Yomi, did you have any data science?
Well, during my time, no. But I think those who followed us, because I remember Prince told us during our time that the next cohort will have to choose between epidemiology and climate science. So last year they had them in two groups. Some after the skill phase, during their review phase, they had to choose between epidemiology and climate science. So I really don't know. So it depends on what the center is doing in that academic session. So I don't know if AIMS Ghana will bring in data science next year or next cohort, But for those that were there last year, they had epidemiology and climate science. And I think this year too, epidemiology and climate science. So I don't know about the next cohort. It all depends on the center president. We really don't have
Dr. Ines, what's going on in South Africa? Do you think?
Hello?
Do you think? Yeah. So do you think there is? I mean, maybe there is a data science.
Yes, actually, there's a new program in artificial intelligence. It's new, but the application process is different from the other AIMS application.
Okay.
Yeah, so there will be like 2 or 3 steps for the application. Yeah, so it's different. It's a different program.
So basically, what they are all saying now is that the current scholarship program that is on, we have 2 tracks: the master's one, which is like 1 year, then the AIMS co-op. And when you say co-op, basically, I know like most people want to apply something, like they want to solve a problem in industry. So it depends. Just what you want to do, have it at the back of your mind, then apply for a program and tell them about your research interest. Hey. And tell us and tell the committee about your research interest. Okay, you can do the 1 year master's program and still do data science. You can do co-op, you still do data science. You can go for the main data science. But what we want to tell you is, if the program allows you to apply to more than one of their tracks, please apply. Just shoot your shot. Okay. Is there any other question? We spent like 2 hours already, and we kind of like appreciate everyone for staying up like up to now, like following up with us. We quite understand if if anyone wants to take excuse at this point, but just bear in mind that we are going to we created a WhatsApp group already, which we encourage you to join. And if there's any other questions or something that we may not discuss here, you may have to talk about that. Then we are also constantly looking for volunteers, but basically it's just that we have specific areas that we want people to volunteer for us. Yes, we are calling it like volunteer, like we are tagging it volunteer because we are non-profit like initiative, and we are not being paid by anyone. We're just trying to do this to help the society. So there's a link I'm going to post right now. If you feel like you have something you could offer us, maybe in terms of, I don't know, it could be data, I mean, maybe data analysis or graphic design, or you want to help us in writing or anything, you can just fill out that form and you tell us what you want to do. But that's by the way, okay, no, before that, I'm Ali Mele. You said you want to ask a question, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, the question is concerned regarding the NYSC ending in October and AIM starting in September.
Okay, we didn't attend to that, right?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Let me see. Did anyone?
Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
I think he said, okay. Is he asking a question?
Yes, so he's asking a question about NYSC. For those who are not familiar with NYSC, so in Nigeria, when you finish complete your first degree, the government is expecting you to serve the nation for 1 year. So it's like a national service. So he's asking, you said, let me just get you right. You said your NYSC is ending when?
October.
Okay, then
AIM
starting started before.
September.
Okay, based on my experience or what I've heard from other people, a guy was doing his NYSC and he had to leave the NYSC, went to AIMS. Then when he was done, like he was selected for AIMS, and he didn't leave the opportunity because he was much more interested in the networking. So he went to AIMS. When he was done, he came back, he completed his national service, and now he's in France. Okay, I think.
Hello.
So you don't want to miss the opportunity. Okay, Dr. Fatoyinbo wants to say something.
Yes, I had similar experience.
Okay.
You know, I was in 6 months into my NYC. That was when I got AIMS admission. So I had to stop NYC for AIMS. After I completed that, So I had another opportunity. Before I finished at Ames, I had another opportunity for another master's in Saudi Arabia. So from Ames, I went to Saudi Arabia. After that, that is when I went back to Nigeria. So it depends on your choice. So for you, you are even lucky because that means you will be like 11 months into the completion of your NYC, meaning that you are almost done. So that shouldn't be a problem for you if you are able to talk to your, maybe your, what do they call them? Is this
CLO or
LGI.
LGI? Okay.
Yeah, so like, yeah, the LGI, yes, the LGI. If you are able to talk to the LGI and if you have good people you are working with, I believe they should understand your situation because you've been there for 11 months compared to someone that is just starting, like my own case. So, but for me, I had to come back to Nigeria to complete my NYSC. During that time, that is when I got my PhD admission. So I completed that like I did another 1 year, you know, because they were like, I funded the NYSC so I had to do another 1 year to get my NYSC certificate.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. Yeah, you got the Ames opportunity from Ames. You went to Saudi Arabia. You came back to fulfill your NYC. You went for your PhD. He has completed his PhD. He's on a postdoc. You know, we got to know each other like through the Ames team. You know, I wouldn't want you to lose out on such an opportunity, right? Then, if you have any issue concerning that, you can reach out to us. You can let me know. There are a lot of people that I think we talk about some of these things. There are ways of navigating it. I quite understand that in Nigeria, they now do biometric verification. If Ames gives you the opportunity, you go, you can reach out to them. You may even fly back to the country to do your biometric. So it all depends. Wow. You can always discuss this. The person with number, do you want to speak?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it's late in West Africa. Even I think in Africa, it's late. So please, we need to round up actually. And because a lot of people want to go to different, they want to sleep actually. As again, it's still afternoon. Yeah, I'll bust out after this program. But I woke up very early, right? So I didn't sleep well. So can you say something? 8339. Sure. Okay.
I'm not sure he knows that's his name.
Yeah, he's raising his hands, but I can't read your name. It's 8339. I didn't want to read your full number for privacy reason. It's well with you, sir. Okay. Is there any other question that we may want to ask? Any other follow-up question? Toyi, please, did you check the chat box? I've not really been focusing.
Yes. I'm checking it.
Questions that has not been attended to.
No one sent any question there.
Okay.
I was just sending links. People were asking for links. I was just saying.
Yes, we'll try as much as possible to add the speakers to the group chat. That is if, of course, we are going to request their permission if they would like to be added to the group. And if they say yes, then we add them. And even when we add them, it is still at their discretion to respond to some of the text. I will try as much as I can to also respond because, I believe like people are very busy and, it's just a volunteering thing. So we want to just make sure that you're able to do your background check, do a lot of things from your end, then before you ask for questions and other things. But for the application, essay, what we are going to send to you should be sufficient for you to be able to coin this out on your own, like draft your own story. And there are different tools online you can use to check whether you've written what you have written is cool. You can use Grammarly. You can use different apps that can help you edit your English, just to be self-sufficient, like you're doing it yourself. So what we're going to share at the end of the program will be something that we kind of help you to navigate through the application. We make you understand how to respond to some of those questions. So if there is, Adekunle is back. Do you want to say something as we round up? We'll spend a lot of time. Adekunle.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So I actually want to make a comment. I have submitted my application and I chose AIMS Ghana. Is it possible for me to change it to AIMS Rwanda? That's number one.
So,
The number
okay.
two, I have not seen the volunteering link you actually said you will send to the chat section.
I sent it already, or maybe I sent it. I don't know. So for that, I do feel like you can reach out to the center. There is an email that you can always reach out to if you want to correct anything. I mean your data, what you selected before. But I think there is an option to say, would you like to be considered for other centers? Then you just say yes, and I think that's all. Okay. There is basically, I don't really think it depends on your motivation level. Actually, it's not mainly like the center you selected, but of course, people will have preference. Someone was asking me, please, where should I pick? I'm like, I won't tell you. Like, go on. If you believe in anything, then you just use that trick and hope it will work. For the last time, 833935. You want to say something? Sorry, I have to identify you that way. Are you there? Okay. I think you. So I think to the best of our knowledge, we have answered most of the questions. Some are clarifying questions, you know, and we've been able to do the little we can, right? So I want to use this opportunity to thank everyone for coming around. You know, I know we all have like this busy schedule. We want to sleep, and we just want to invest into our future, because going to AIMS for me was a game changer. And I had my PhD in Africa, but now I think I'm happy with where I am now and what I'm doing for myself. And we're just trying to draw your attention to this opportunity that is on the African continent. If you want to study in Western world, it's really fine. But if that is not coming your way, why not try like other opportunities in Africa that can help expand your network? And I hope we've been able to discuss one or two things like that would be beneficial when you're trying to submit your application. Though I've always thought that maybe early application is cool, though it makes sense to submit early, but at the same time, you need to submit a very good document. I mean, application package, like the speakers have mentioned. Ensure that you submit something that is very, very cool. Then maybe I can give you an hint, which I'm not so really sure about, but I'm beginning to think that if you pick a center and you are arguing your case in your application essay, you may want to say something about the country. Because each AIM center, apart from the funding they receive from MasterCard and all that, they receive funding from the host nation. And the host nation have their policies, what they want to achieve in the next 10 years. So when you are mentioning those things, they are like, oh, this person is keying into the goal or the future projection of the government of that country. Because I think, based on my understanding, maybe like 30 or 40% of maybe AIM students may even come from that same country. So you that you are coming from another country, or it is even your country, you want to sell yourself, you want to make sure your application is unique. And we hope that this will help you and you will be successful in it. And we're also hoping that in future, we're able to organize other programs. Maybe if we're able to find people who have gone through the data science track, maybe they can come up and tell us about the AIMS data science. And we may also look into talking about other programs thereafter. So thank you so much for your time. Thanks to the speakers. I've been following up with you, sending you emails and busting, coming into your DM, trying to send these messages. Thanks for your sacrifice. It's really means, a lot to us. And those who also came, Yomi was here last year, she's here again. Dr. Fato Imbo was here last year, he's here again. And I guess maybe a few other people. And I really do appreciate, and I don't know if there's anyone who, by the virtue of I don't get to know what you used to save your name, like I can't identify you by your name. I just want to thank you guys for coming around. So just a take home, one, we've had this conversation, you've heard a lot of things. We will try as much as we can to put this on YouTube, and so that you can go over it and watch it. That's one. Then two, we would send you emails containing the application templates that could be very useful for you. So you should use that to tweak whatever you want to tweak. Just try to do it do it yourself, because let's say 200 people reached out to one person to help them look at the application. It might be difficult. Try and do these things yourself, and maybe whoever may wants to help, we have less work to do. And I don't know if there's any other thing that you need to add or subtract, maybe. Chat box. Is there any other thing?
Yeah. Okay.
You want to say something?
Yeah, about selection of centers, because someone has asked me before, how's the education system in that country? So I want to say that the AIMS program is independent of the country's educational system. So it's a specialized program that is just situated in that country. So it can be in any country in Africa, could be in Nigeria, any country, you know. It is not dependent on the educational system. Because some people will be like, okay, I'm a Nigerian, why would I go to study in Rwanda? Is their education, is it can it be compared to ours in Nigeria? So that is not the case actually. We just have the centers in 5 African countries. So it is not dependent on the educational system of that country. So one can choose any country or center depending on their interest.
Oh, great. Thank you for that. It was at AIMS Rwanda I got to meet with Nobel Prize winner. I got to meet with field medalists, people I would not have met with in my life, and I met them, and yeah, it was an inspiration for me. I met Neil Turok too. So those are great guys. So regardless of the country where it is located, the network is what is most important. Then you can adapt some of these things to what you do. You may not have to restrict yourself to just one application. Do different applications, okay? And yeah, try to follow people. I don't know. Like I'm on Twitter. People can also join Twitter, you know. You can, if you're on Twitter, we can follow each other. I just drop mine. You can just keep in touch. There are a lot of people tweeting about scholarship opportunities, you know. So if you feel like you are interested, then you need to start now. Who would like to give a concluding remark? Yomi, you want to say something?
Oh, yes. I just want to wish everyone a successful application. And at the same time, I want to remind you that you are going to AIMS for a reason. I know you'll get it. So I'm talking with faith now. I know you'll get into AIMS and you will join this amazing family. And I just want to tell you that regardless of the stress, because some people might be tempted to come back home. Yeah. Regardless of the stress, just try as much as possible to endure, having the mindset that the tussle is indeed worth the hustle. So endure it and maximize every opportunity that comes your way as much as you can. I remember my program manager came to me to give a poster presentation for International Day of Mathematics. And I think I accepted. I had other things to do. My assignment is there. My school work is there, but I just chose to do that. And you won't believe that was what gave me my PhD scholarship. Because during my interview, I was telling them about how vocal I am, how AIMS has built me with science communication skills. And I mentioned my volunteered postal session during the International Day of Mathematics, and my interviewer requested for the link to that performance, which I sent to her. And during the interview, she went to AIMS Ghana's Facebook page and watched my poster presentation. And I'm sure that was what gave me this scholarship opportunity. So try as much as possible. You are busy, yes. AIMS will make you very busy and you won't want to do any other thing. But try as much as possible to maximize those opportunities. Do things that will make you feel better aside the knowledge you acquire. Meet people, interact with them. Don't lock yourself in the room. Then embrace help. You can't do it alone. So embrace, if you try to do it alone, you kill yourself. Embrace, embrace help. Meet with people who knows better than you do. Even if you know better than them, just walk up to people that can help you. Don't bury your head trying to figure everything out yourself. And I wish you well. I know that by the time you are done with AIMS, you definitely find yourself in Europe or America, like majority of them on this call. And for some of us who are in Europe, feel free to join us. You're welcome for your PhD or another master's. I wish you, everyone on this call who want to apply to AIMS, a successful application. And we are waiting for your success story. We are waiting for your testimony, and we can't wait to welcome you on board in AIMS Network. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I would like to say one thing. I'd like to say this. So we're in Africa, we want to study abroad. Just make sure that anything you're doing, you're also thinking about how you can impact Africa, how you can give back as much as you can, how you can send down the ladder you want to like bring people. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming.
Thank you.
The WhatsApp link is shared here. We're going to like send an email again so that if you have more questions, you can drop it. Like I said, it may not be a real-time response, but definitely it's going to be attended to. Check your email, check your spam folder for the templates and what will be of use to you. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I really do appreciate, we appreciate you, and thanks to the team for making this work out for us. We are so happy. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, Yves. Bye.
Bye.
Hola, bye.